Hi there, Leo. This is Carrie at wooingnature.life, and welcome to September. This is your September reading. So I am going with a little bit of an Asian theme today, and so I'll be reading Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power, which is Tibetan Buddhism, and also some probably Indo-Tibetan Buddhism is really what it is. And then I'm also going to be reading from the I-Ching cards, and those are Klaus Holitzka's deck. And then I will finalize with the Chinese Tarot, and that'll give us our detailing. So let's go ahead and get started with you, Leo. I hope you guys are doing well. The Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power card for you today is actually a mandala, which I think is a really good start for September for you, because it is going to put you in a meditative state and put you in a meditative process. So if you're not already meditating, if you're not already getting the meditation experience, or if you're not already a meditator, I'm trying to fix my incense here, then this would be a good time to start. If you are already meditating, then I would recommend that you step up your game, or you might want to change your meditative practice slightly so that you can get some other energies, other downloads, other information to come through. The mandala that is drawn here, of course, has the circle. I'm also seeing the four directions here, which really reminds me of a Native American medicine wheel. So if you do are connected to that particular teaching, then you can also meditate upon the medicine wheel. I'm also seeing the Star of David here in the middle. So for those of you who are practicing and following those lines, then that may be the direction for you. But the main thing is to meditate. The main thing is to find a singular focus or a singular focal point, and use that as a way for you to communicate. Use it as a way for you to, when I say communicate, I'm talking about communicating to your spirit guides or to the spirit entities or into the spirit realm. And what comes with this mandala is beauty and harmony. It talks about both beauty and harmony, which is not something that we always consider when we're talking about being able to find our way to our own inner peace. I mean, but it stands to reason, right? Harmony is peace, it's balance, it's feeling like you're in your right place and everything is good. And that doesn't mean we're not going to have occasional ups and downs, frustrations, daily things that challenge us that we have to go through. But in general, you feel good about yourself. You feel like you're where you need to be, and um, you're not fighting yourself. You're not having to prove yourself. You're not having to apologize. You're not having to make excuses for who you are. You're just in a good place in general. It also talks about creation and fusion. So this is related to something of a creative nature, or it could be about you collaborating on a creative project as well. I'm seeing that. I'm also seeing the lotus here in the very center of the card. So to me, that says that something is still unfolding. There's still some things that are swirling around this particular thing. There's still some things that are still opening for you, opportunities that are still opening for you, doors that are still opening for you. But this meditative process is going to allow you to be in a different headspace so that you can receive more of the resources that you may need for a creative project. All right, so we've already got card number 45 out here with the I Ching, and then I'm just shuffling for your changing card. But I can tell you right now, this looks like a circle of trust. It could be a circle of people. It could be a committee. It could be a board. It could be an organization that you're a part of, but There is one central theme and one central focus here, is what I'm just seeing intuitively in the image itself. But I will get to the I-Ching passage and the message that specifically pertains to the hexagram number 45 in just a second. And then we already have the changing lines for you, so I will also share that with you as well. So first, let's go to chapter 45 of the I-Ching. It talks about a gathering where people find themselves together. There is something which motivates them, and that's that center point I talked about. Whether a collective goal or a stronger person to whom they align themselves. So it could be a central theme or a central goal, or it could be a person of leadership that you are all looking up to, or that there is a collective agreement that this person has something significant to share in your lives or in the lives of others in a grander scale. We're looking at bigger picture stuff here, not just on the personal here, okay? As a leader, you become the focal point of all the group's strength. So that makes sense for me, Leo, because you all are known to be leaders. If you don't feel like you're in a leadership position, then I want you to look a little closer first and see, because it's not about titles and it is not about what position you hold in an earthly frame, okay? It's really about your spiritual positioning. And sometimes the leaders are not positioned in executive management, okay? Sometimes the leaders are somewhere totally different that you don't think. So you got to look for leadership where leadership exists, and you know when you have good leadership, and you know when the leadership ain't worth crap, and you know when people are not good leaders and when they are. And some people are in the position to lead, but they're not leaders. You know what I'm talking about. As an ordinary group member, you add your individual capabilities to the collective power of the group. That's leadership. In both cases, you are one of the group and contribute to the concentration of energy within the group. Either role could have a positive or negative effect upon your personal development. Okay? So this process for you. I got my nose itching. That means your spirits are coming in. Thank you, Leo spirits. Thank you, spirits that are governing over my Leo clan, for entering into the space, and we welcome you to be a part of this reading. Yes, we do. All right. So 45, going back to 45 here. This is about your personal development as much as it is about you understanding leadership and leadership potential in yourself. It's about understanding true leadership. And again, we're not talking about your title. We're not talking about how much money you get paid, because this is something way different. It's on a spiritual level, so you got to look at it that way. So the way you're dealing with this, the way that you handle this, can have either a positive or a negative effect on your personal development. So you got to begin to see it this way. I'm not going to call this a test. I'm not going to call it a test. But what I am going to call it is apprenticeship. It's a learning ground. It's a training ground for you. And the training ground is there to develop your own personal resolve in the position of leadership, or understanding yourself as the leader that you are. It all depends on how you go about this thing. So try to organize your feelings and thoughts so that they match your actions and goals. Oh my goodness, that is a mouthful. I'm going to read it again. It says, try to organize your feelings and your thoughts so that they match or align with your actions and your goals. And what that means is what you think, what you say. Check your feelings, because sometimes how you feel and how you think is two different things. That happens. I feel this way, but I think I need to do it like this. So you need to get all that aligned. You got to get all of that aligned. And of course, you're going to align all of that with your actions and your goals. So you need to know what your goal is here. What is your personal goal in being a part of this gathering? What are you getting out of it? What do you want to get out of it? What are you learning about yourself? All of that stuff is propelling you forward. So you got to think about, what's my goal here? Now, this is really important too, especially if you are in a situation where this group, you don't like it. You're in one of those groups where it's chaos, or you're in a group where the leadership sucks and you have to sit and listen to it. That's when it becomes particularly challenging. But guess what? The harder the challenge, the greater the reward in the end. So don't get bent out of shape because it's all of a sudden this is drastically too hard for you. You can't handle it. Yes, you can. That's why you're there. But you just have to look at the situation a little more closely, or not even closely. I'm going to say you just need to stand back and really look at what's happening here. And again, see how this is advancing your personal development. See how this message, or what messages are being relayed through this interaction here, relate to leadership, the lack of, or you could be in a situation where there's great leadership and you need to be taking copious notes, or seeing how you can be of further assistance to the leadership. Could be about that. All right. It says that if you do this, if you match your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, and your goals, you can gain self-confidence and achieve your personal objectives. So goals and objectives here, keynote leadership, keynote personal development, also keynote. All right, so the changing lines. We have 2 as a changing line, and also we have 4 and 5 as changing lines. So 2, 4, and 5 is what I'll be reading. And whatever resonates with you, take that passage. And maybe all of them resonate. Just get in where you fit in is what I say. We're looking at 3, we're looking at a 4, and we're looking at a 5. Number 2, compatible people are often brought together in mysterious ways. Such an occurrence should not be resisted, as it could be fatal. Now, we're not talking about somebody's going to die here. We're saying that if you think about death in energetic forms or in spiritual forms, it means that something has to go in order for something new to come in. All right. So, but the main thing is if you don't want the energy, if the energy is good, if you know that this is, I'm in this environment, I'm in the right place, I know I'm supposed to be getting something out of this. I have these particular challenges, but I'm trying to move forward because I know what my goals are. Then what you're looking at is that somewhere in this group of people, there's somebody that you are compatible with. Now, the changing card looks like this. Interesting juxtaposition, because this implies unity. Everyone's focused on a central theme, a central goal, or a central leadership, or something like that. But anyway, there's a sense of unity here with the circle. Here is where you see it looks like lots of people kind of separated out. It looks like a crowd. Maybe I don't know who to connect with. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. You may be going through all of that. But the idea is to know that in this circle somewhere, there is somebody that has some compatibility, and you just have to find it if you haven't found it already. If you already know your compatible partners, then you know what to do. It's time to start working together. All right. Number 4, sorry. You have the gift to motivate other people. Have you acknowledged this yet? So for those of you who have motivating tendencies, some people, you a good coach. People come to you, they feel inspired by you, they feel better when they're around you, and that kind of thing. You're always giving encouragement. If you haven't acknowledged this yet, then do it. You are a long way from the sort of person to pursue selfish plans. People are therefore willing to trust you. That's definitely a leadership quality. That's definitely a leadership quality. So if people are willing to follow you, then you're a leader. You already know. Number 5, or line 5, others seek to be near you as soon as you achieve power and influence. All right, now you know. That can go both ways. You need to show strength of character, loyalty, and leadership qualities in order to gain real trust. And that's why I said now that could go either way, because if you are in a position of influence, if you're near the top of the rung, if you're you're the go-to person, oh, everybody likes you, you're the cutest, you're the flyest, you're the this, that, or the other, right? You're always getting the accolades, then that puts you in a different sort of leadership position. Um, it's it's there's no judgment for either one of them. Let me say that. There's no judgment on either one of these types of leadership. Like when you look at number 4, you have the gift to motivate people. People enjoy you. You're not selfish. You're looking at common goals and people are trusting of you. That's one type of leadership. But there's another type of leadership when you are the star. That's another kind of leadership. So we're not knocking either one of them. Both of them work, but it just means that you may have to be a little bit more mindful of how you're getting ahead if you are dealing with the line number 6. Don't forget show of character, loyalty, and leadership. And when you do that, then it balances out jealousy, envy, hateration, and all that other kind of stuff that happens when you are the star player. Don't downplay your star. If you've been given star qualities, play them, use them. They're not supposed to be hid under a bushel. But do know that if you have that star power energy, you've got to balance it with character, strength of character to be exact, loyalty, and showing some leadership skills. So, Leo, we're really talking about leadership here. No wonder you need to meditate because you've got some people to lead. You've got people to lead, and that's a very important role. I cannot say that enough. It's very hard to find good leadership these days. It's very difficult to find good leadership because people have edged their way and fought their way and done some other stuff too to get in positions of power. But that does not mean you're a good leader. And as we move forward into the newer energy, as we all begin to make these ascensions, okay, then you are going to have to, people are going to have to start being real. They're going to have to start being truthful and honest about what really is, okay? This faking it till you make it, or buying your way to the top and all of that other kind of stuff, that's not going to wash in the long run. So people might as well get out of the habit of it. It's really just it's a 20th century paradigm. It's a 20th century paradigm is what it is. It's a 20th century way of doing things that just isn't for the 21st century. It's not. The 21st century is there's a different set of ways of doing things. We're going to be changing that, and I know a lot of people are really happy about it. I am one of them. Very happy about it. All right, I've moved on along with the Chinese tarot. We're going to do a little detailing. We're going to get into this whole story a little more. Let's see where this is going to take us. We have, first of all, the King of Swords. I can't think of a more appropriate card if we're talking about leadership other than if we were talking about the Emperor. But the Emperor for me is more about systems and organization and rules and structures and things like that. So if we are talking about, excuse me, just a moment. If we are talking about um, leadership or being in a leadership position, then I think that the King of Swords represents that. The King of Swords, in its positive light, is someone who is objective, has sound judgment, who views all of the facts, who is able to discern the facts and analyze them so that the information is fair to everyone. Again, we're talking about this group here. It's fair to everyone and it's equitable, and and people feel comfortable with the decision that's being made on behalf of everyone. Again, we're talking about harmony, and being harmonious and being in a harmonious state. So the King of Swords, although he represents the state of the mind and the state of air, where we really are thinking mostly about thoughts, when it comes to leadership, you do have to be a thinking person. Feelings are material when you're talking about leadership. Feelings are material, but you cannot actually lead from your feelings. You have to remain neutral. So, what happens a lot of times when you get in these circles, you hear a lot of people's feelings. You can't ignore the feelings. You can't ignore people's feelings because their feelings are what's driving them. Their feelings are a part of their perception of things. So you have to be listening for that. But as the leader, you can't be operating in your feelings. You have to just hear objectively. It's almost like being a judge in a court or a jury in a court. You have to be able to hear all the evidence and then say, okay, this is the ruling, this is what we're going to do, or this is what I think is the best course of action given everyone's individual feelings, needs, thoughts, perceptions, etc. What's motivating, what job they have to take care of, or what job they're assigned to do. So this could be on your job, this could be in an organization, like I said, or any other kind of group. Anyway, we're talking about a leader here. No doubt about it. All right, so I don't remember which one of these came next, but I'm just going to keep talking. We have a 5 of coins here. This looks like tackling a lot of things. There's a lot of very basic tasks that have to be taken care of. You are one person. You cannot do it all. Therefore, you have this team. Okay? The reason why you have the team is so you don't have to tackle it yourself. One of the things that leaders tend to do, or people in leadership or who are in positions of leadership tend to do, is they think they have to do it all themselves. No, that's called a control freak. What you need to do is you need to learn how to delegate the responsibility, delegate the task. That's a part of your leadership skills, because you have to also know who to delegate the task to. Now, this is where some of the challenges come in, because right now, because we're half one foot in and one foot out of the new energy, the old energy, and everything else, you have people in positions that a lot of them don't even want to be in the position. They just trying to have a paycheck. You understand me? Then you have other people who have skills, who want to be there, but they don't feel fulfilled, or they don't feel like they really, that their job is really, doing it for them. They like the work. They believe in the work. They think it's important what they're doing, but where they are in the position that they're in, they may not feel that they're really utilizing their skills. Then you have some people who just want to help. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I can do to help you. And you'll be able to know who's who, and so on and so forth. But the other part of your leadership responsibility is knowing the skill set of the people that are there, so that if they are in these like weird positions where their title doesn't really fit what they can do and that kind of thing, that you are able to still utilize the skill to get the work done. Because a lot of times where people feel like they're at an impasse, especially in large group settings, work settings, collaborative settings, group, anything where there's groups of people that have to work collectively toward a common goal, which is what seems to be happening here. Um, you have to know your people. You have to know the people. And then you have to know what they like, what they don't like, what concerns them. That's why that listening thing is so important. And listening objectively, I might add. All right, I think I lost a card. Oh, here it is. All right, so we've got also a Five of Swords here. Now, fives represent conflict in the tarot world, right? So this is one type of conflict. It's not really a conflict, but it's really just a challenge, right? So the challenge is delegating the responsibility to the right people. That's one challenge. The other challenge that you have this month is in the realm of the mind. It could be thinking, the way people are thinking, understanding the way that people are thinking, being able to manage all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the feelings, right? This takes this takes listening. You just have to be a good listener, Leo. And it may be a lot coming at you at once. You may feel like, okay, I've got to accommodate this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. And this person wants this, but this person needs this. And in order for us to get this thing moving, we've all got to get on the same page. It's a lot coming at you at once that you're trying to tackle. Now, this to me kind of goes with this because there are the tasks at hand that have to be handled, but then there's also this kind of gray area stuff that has to be dealt with too. It's like what's going on behind the scenes, and then what the boots on the ground that has to be done. Because whenever you're dealing with work and jobs and things like that, there's the work that has to be done. This is the work that has to be done. Your feelings and your thoughts and your ideas and all of that kind of stuff is I'm not going to call it secondary. It's not secondary. It has to it's going to feed into this work, but it's sort of like that soft that kind of like that part that's going on underneath that may be affecting morale or maybe affecting productivity that you've got to sort out. Don't feel like you have to manage this by yourself either, because there are advisors, there are mentors. You may need a life coach, or you may need a business coach or something like that. So don't feel like, you may not be able to pass this part of the work on to your workers who are trying to get these tasks done. But if you need help sorting through what's happening with your employees or what's happening with the rest of the team, if people are feeling disgruntled and you don't know what to do about it, there is still help for you here too. So either way it goes, I don't want you to feel like you have to tackle this all by yourself, Leo, just because you are in that position of leadership or you are learning to accept the leadership part. So the Ace of Swords here is telling me to tackle one, telling me to tell you to tackle one thing at a time. Take on one thing at a time. Handle that and then go to the next thing. And of course, don't forget to ask for the help that you need when you need it. All right, let's see what else is going on here. These cards are just popping. You also have the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups to me is about you taking care of yourself. It's like remembering that you have to balance out the level of thinking, the level of managing, the level of listening that you have to do as a leader, the energies that you may have to tackle when you're trying to create the right kind of unity around the situation that you're in or that you are a part of. That takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. And so this draws me right back to the first card, which is about meditating, finding harmony, finding balance, finding your own inner bliss. And this to me is just repeating that message there, that you also balance out what you have to do in your leadership position with that self-care. Spend time in nature, take some time out for yourself, kind of put some boundaries around yourself at times, steam your face, really do some beautification type things to keep things in balance. It's got to be balanced. All right, anything else for my Leo friends for the month of September? Any other advice for Leos for September? No, Leo, that looks like it. All right, so lots of great messages about leadership here for you. That is, I'm day. It's so apropos for you, Leo, and I really think that that's good information. It's also good information for anybody else who is in a leadership position. So whether somebody's a Leo or not, or whether you know somebody who might be dealing with something like this, if it sounds like some good information for them, then please share the video with them. So that they can understand what's going on, because this is going to affect a lot of workplaces and a lot of organizations in the future. We have to get very clear about our roles and our positions and our alignment. That's why we've been talking about alignment, being spiritually aligned, making sure that your thoughts and your mind and your emotions and your connectivity to the spirit realm and connecting to your inner spirit and your inner wealth, because by doing so, it allows you to be able to communicate what you have to do and what your true role is. And it also helps you understand what your true role is. And that's great, because you may find out, hey, I'm not even in the right position here. I'm supposed to be doing that. And then you can start, directing your life a little differently and getting some better perspective on that. Does that make sense to you? All right, then, Leos, if you want to take a deeper dive, you can reach out to me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri at wooingnature.com, because we're switching domains and everything. But if you reach me at wooingnature.life, it'll come to wooing-nature.com. But I have to say that so that I won't forget. Okay, information is in the description box along with the information about the decks. I hope you have a great September, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.